Good evening, directors and Palisades community. It's my pleasure to present the budget round 2 this evening. We're going to follow the same format we did last time, where we're 4-digit function, 1-digit object code, so we can drill into the detail. In terms of major object code, just a key so you can read the spreadsheet correctly. If it's a 1, it's salaries. If it's a 2, it's benefits. If it's a 3, it's professional and technical services. If it's 4, it's purchase property services. It's 5 is other purchase services. 6 is supplies. 7 is property. 8 is other objects like interest and dues and fees. And 9 is other financing uses like principal. We start with where we ended last time. I have the grid of the budget presentation summary. Number 1, you can see that our expenses were projected to increase 3.87%. That is almost entirely attributable to charter schools and transportation. As it relates to charter schools, PDE still hasn't issued a new Form 363. So when they do issue that, we'll be adjusting the budget projection for charter schools. In terms of the areas we're going to look at tonight, there's buildings and grounds, administration, equipment, other education, and capital projects. You can see that there's growth in buildings and grounds, small dollar growth in other areas, and large growth in capital projects. Let's go to buildings and grounds. So under operation of building services, we come in at $1.5 million. The largest chunk of that is in supplies. Supplies for buildings and maintenance are the materials that tradespersons use, the custodial supplies that stock our bathrooms and hallways, and the utilities that power our schools. Under 2660, safety and security services, we have a small allocation of $31,000, mostly in supplies. And under 2836, we have staff development services. That's for professional development for folks in buildings and grounds. So all total $1.5 million. Under administration, this one's lengthy. We've got I will tell you with administration in this particular part of the budget, I'm anxious to get a couple more months of history in 25-26 so we can review this budget in greater detail. I relied heavily upon the budgeted 25-26 figures, except in places where we knew there would be changes, like insurances likely to go up. But this is an area that if you look back at 24-25 actuals, let me scroll to the total of 561,000. You can see that there's growth in the last 2 years. I think it's possible for me to pare some of this budget back, but I want to get a little more history in 25-26 before I do that. Board services coming. So,
where it went from 21 to 31. Is that stuff, not people?
That is stuff, not people.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's in a supply account.
Okay.
No worries. Under administration, we've got board services flat at 33,000. Board treasurer services, that's just a bond at $300. Tax assessment and collection services flat at 83,000. Legal and accounting services flat at 115. Office of Superintendent Services flat at 9.2. Community relations flat at 27.5. Other administrative services, there's a little bit of growth in one of the insurance accounts, 240,000. Supervision of fiscal services, a little bit of growth at $50,200. Payroll services is a decrease. We no longer outsource payroll, so you don't have that $25,000 charge to pay ADP. So that comes out completely. For safety and security services, flat at 90,000. Public information services, a little bit of growth. Supervision of staff services, flat. Staff development services, flat. Health services, flat. Staff development services, flat. Data processing services, flat. Scholarships and awards, flat. And again, it's my pledge to you, the board, that I will give me a couple more months of history in 25, 26, and we'll attack this budget and see if we can't get these figures lower.
The public information is double. Is there a request?
It's looking at the actual expenditures in 25, 26 of $38,530. So I had to match the actual expenditures in 25, 26. And that's for school registration software, school messenger, website, and Moncito software products the district uses in public affairs. So all told, a little bit of growth at 792, but again, I think this is a budget that's ripe for a little bit of a decrease. Just be patient with me to get some more history in 25, 26. Then we turn our attention to equipment. You can see we were at 61,000 in 24, 25. The budget in 25, 26 is 84,000. The budget in 26, 27 is projected at 92,000. By function code, existing building improvement services, 15,000. Regular programs, 13,700. And operation of building services, 63,700. Now I've got the detail of what makes that up. So for equipment, there's 7,000 for PHS lighting for musical. If we move forward with the project at the high school auditorium and it can be completed on time, there's no need to budget that. We'll be able to take that out. There's an upright bike, a laptop, a clay recycling machine, kiln shelves, a graphics lab, computer desk chairs. Window shades is a big expenditure for classroom doors at the high school. There's a Palms dishwasher at 15,000. That Palms dishwasher will actually be paid for by the food service fund and not the general fund. There's a lift gate for the box truck to increase its utility. And the largest piece of this is 34,000 for an Exmark laser mower of 96 inches. An Exmark laser mower, a really wide mower. All right, moving to other education. We got an estimate from the business manager at Upper Bucks at 1.1. That would actually be a decrease from the current budget year. Homebound instruction, I boosted up given the actuals in 24, 25. Alternative education flat at 35. Other instructional programs flat at 3,500. Again, these are some areas we'll take a hard look at when we have a little more history in 25, 26. Other adult education at 13,350. This one I know needs to increase because we have a highly successful ceramics program and they need more supplies to continue the success of that program. Higher education for secondary students. This is co-op work where students attend higher education and get credits. Library services, pretty flat at 10,200. Staff development services for instructional staff, flat. Instructional staff, non-certified, flat at 4,000. Medical services, flat at 10,000. Nursing services, flat. Staff development services for non-instructional certified staff only, flat. Support services not listed elsewhere, slight increase. And school-sponsored student activities, a slight increase. So all told, this budget's only going up by about $4,000. But we'll take a look when we get a little more history in 25, 26. Capital projects. By function code, we've got 205,000 for regular programs. This is for the curriculum initiatives. Operation of building services, nothing budgeted. Safety and security, nothing budgeted. System-wide technology, nothing budgeted. School-sponsored athletics, nothing budgeted. Existing building improvement services is where it's at. That's at 5.7 million, and we're going to go into the detail of all this in just a second. So for curriculum, and Dr. Donnelly, feel free to jump in when you want to. We have 33,000 for science curriculum at Palms. This is a one-year expenditure. We have 25,000 for RELA K5. This is the second and final year of implementation. We have an intervention K5 for RELA. This is a 5-year expense at 49,100. At Palms, we have RELA. This is a 6-year program at 73,000. It's a 1-year expenditure for a new program. It's a placeholder. Dr. Donnelly's searching for what our solution path will be, and we'll bring that to EPS. And then we have the math program at Palms at $25,200, second and final year of implementation. So your total is just about $206,000 for curriculum initiatives under capital projects. Sure. That would be like where you have a student that takes classes at community college. And it's the tuition for that. It's not the cyber school. Good question, though. Thank you. Under capital projects technology, we want to replace the paging and clock system at PHS, paging and clock system at Palms, the interactive projector work at Tinicum and Springfield and Durham Knox, and backup system upgrades at $9,000. The total for technologies asked in the capital project is $151,800. Then we get to facilities. This should look familiar to you because we covered this at the Buildings and Grounds meeting, but I just want to cover it again. So we've got the PHS purple and gold gym replacement, 150,000. The treatment plan upgrades at $1 million. Palms Auditorium at $3 million. PHS auditorium lighting upgrades and sound panels at $200,000. District-wide safety bollards, $50,000, $800,000 increase to improve the HVAC controls at Palms. Springfield, more HVAC work, rooftop units for the library main office, 158. Concrete repairs at Palms and PHS and Durham Knox, 150,000, and safety security upgrades and replacements at $50,000. So all told, 5.5 million. That is a bump up. So if you look at your capital projects as a whole, We spent about 1.7 in 24-25. We budgeted 3.5 in 25-26. And right now the ask is 5.9 million for 26-27. So going back to the summary, right now the total ask is a $2.8 million increase. Most of that is the capital projects, a $2.4 million increase. When you back out the capital projects, which we paid for from the district savings, the increase is $419,000 or 4.13%. And again, I think there's work that can be done on the buildings and grounds budget, on the other education budget, and the administration budget. Just give me a little bit of time to get more history on 25-26.
Okay.
What questions does the board have?
You say you want to get more 25 inches. I'm assuming that's, once the audit gets in, we can get some real numbers on 4.5.
We are on track to bring the audit to you in January. We have the audit adjustments. We've booked those adjustments today. We're working on the state annual financial report. We're on track to come to fiscal in January with the audit. Yes.
Just to clarify the way I understand it, the buildings, the capital project, that's coming up, but you still have to show it in the budget.
Absolutely.
So it gives us $5 million jump in the budget, even though that's not coming out of revenue.
That's right.
Okay. Just to clarify. I know.
What other questions does the board have?
On curriculum, Dr. Donnelly, the last math one, second and final year implementation supplemental support for intervention and enrichment. What is that? Oh, sorry. It's like 25,000 for 5 years. And this is Tom.
There you go.
Yeah, line 8.
I'm sorry, Karen, what was that?
I was asking what line 8 is.
Yep, so line 8 would be a combination of both additional on-site coaching from Carnegie Learning as well as the supplemental program that they have. They gave that to us for previous year to try. So then, so we're going to use that to finish up the program.
And then is, what line is this? Line 5, I think. That's the CKLA. And like how many coaches they do with this year, like a coaching? How many? 4?
That one would be for either 2 or 3 days per building. So 2 or 3-day residency.
Thinking ahead in terms of what's coming to you in January. In January, we'll have a better handle on comprehensive plan. We'll work with Dr. Donnelly to get those budget figures. Salary and benefits, educational support, special education revenue, health services is another budget that'll come to you in January. And that'll complete our initial wave. The Act 1 timeline has the end of January as the due date to adopt a resolution to not exceed the Act 1 index. We'll be bringing that resolution to you in January.
So I guess I'll just throw it out for discussion. But before I do, I just want to give a kudos to Al at Buildings and Grounds. I was trying to figure out what is happening over at Springfield to try to keep up with our maintenance and things over there. And was happy to hear that he's doing everything he can to work on that building and keep things going. So I'm glad to see the rooftop units and things like that going on. So a thank you to Al. And so now for discussion. So it's not on here, so I may be out of line in asking this now, but it's a budget meeting or whatever. We typically have a line for the laptop Chromebook replacements, right? Don't we have that somewhere in the budget? Okay, well, that would be my point for discussion. So something to think about. And I don't know if this would work or not, but it was suggested to me and I thought it was a good idea. If instead of doing it every 4 years, we would break that down, would it be something to consider that we would purchase laptops or Chromebooks, whatever these things are, that the kids get, when ninth graders are coming in, and that becomes theirs for the duration of their high school years? And so every 4 years, we are replacing just the ninth grade, and they take those with them through their high school years. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Gary, do you want to answer this?
I think that's a possibility. This time around, we did not replace all
Mm-hmm.
100 Chromebooks.
Mm-hmm.
We replaced secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Actually worked out for us. Although the elementary Chromebooks in another 4 years, we're going to take the secondary Chromebooks. So probably right now, we're likely where we purchase new Chromebooks.
Right, right. Yeah, see, I don't know how to work out the technicalities if it's something everybody thinks would make sense, as far as implementing that. Obviously, there would be newer ones, closer together or whatever, but so,
And we'll be bringing you the technology budget next month.
right,
So there's ample opportunity
to bring it up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, just throwing it out there. So that was it for me.
And to be clear, Director Wendhold, because you did have questions around the heating and cooling at Springfield and whether we could sort of front end some of those costs and dive a little deeper in our piggy bank to get that done sooner rather than later. Are you suggesting that has, I don't think the kit and caboodles in there, we would have noticed
Oh,
that. But
yeah, no, it's definitely not, but at least it's not thrown off. So he's trying to do what he can as he can. So I'm just glad to see that they're
improvements.
they're
Okay.
working on things over there.
Okay, because if that's something we wanted to do, that's a significant line item and we should talk about it sooner rather than later.
Correct. And I would like to see those things addressed as soon as we can get to them. But I mean, I realize right now we're dealing with the sewage treatment thing. We've got the other one underway for the renovations at the middle school and so forth. So I realize timing isn't good. But so I don't want that to fall off to the bottom of the list, but I know we have our projections. So I hope we can do what we can as soon as we can with that.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
And in next year's budget, there's money for AC for the multipurpose room in Springfield. Yeah. So there's more to come in the 5-year capital plan. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Under other issues, medical services are included.
Let me drill down into the detail and we'll tell you what that's about. This is under technical services. This must be, this is probably the physician and the dentist.
Gentlemen, any questions? Thank you very much. See everyone at 7 o'clock. We have been
executive meeting at 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you.